I remember when I first said, I think I want to get into teaching. And if I'm honest, I didn't actually know what I meant. I just knew I didn't want to stay where I was. And I see this all the time now. People say they want to teach, but they haven't really thought about what that looks like. Welcome back to I'm Nova Key. This episode is for you if you've been thinking about moving into education, but you feel a little bit stuck, a little bit unsure, or like you're going round in circles. Because what no one really explained is that teaching in our industry isn't just one thing. There are actually different routes, and each one comes from a completely different lifestyle. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I've done them all in some shape or form. So I wanted to just share I didn't start in education. I started as a beauty therapist in a local salon. Then I moved into higher end organic kind of health and beauty companies. And that's where things started to change for me. I worked my way up from head therapist, and then opportunity came to become an in-store trainer. At the start, I didn't really think of it as getting into teaching. It was just the next step. So my role was to train all the UK stores. They would come into head office and I would train them on everything like the company ethos, product knowledge, treatment protocols, signature facials. At first, I was training therapists, and then it expanded to pharmacists and homeopaths. Anyone joining the company, basically. And I remember thinking, I actually enjoy this. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The role is very different to what people now call a brand trainer. As an in-store trainer, I was mostly based in one place, structured and internal. When I became an international trainer, that's when the role shifted. I was now traveling, representing the brand, training externally, different environments, different people, different expectations. And it looks exciting, and it is, but it's also tiring. It's a lot. Then I moved into lecturing, and that was a completely different experience again. I was teaching level 4 spa management for over 3 years. I created the level 5 leadership and management qualification. I was teaching social media marketing. And this is where I really saw the difference. Because lecturing isn't just about knowing your subject, it's about understanding how people learn. It's about planning lessons, marking assignments, supporting students, and dealing with paperwork and meeting requirements. It's structured, it's consistent, but it comes with lots of responsibilities. And now, where I am today as an academy owner, that's an entire new level again. There's freedom, but there's also full responsibility. There's no guaranteed income. You're building everything yourself, the courses, the systems, the experience. And I think that I realize across all of these roles is this: they are not the same thing. The biggest shift for me was understanding that I wasn't just getting into teaching, I was choosing a direction. And once I understood that, everything became clearer because each route requires something different from you, not just in terms of skills, but in terms of how you want to live your life. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I want to teach, I want you to pause for a moment and think, because there are three main routes you could take. You could become a brand trainer like I was, which often involves travel, working with brands, delivering product and treatment training, and being very visible in the industry. You could become a lecturer, so which gives you structure, a consistent income, and the opportunity to teach in a more formal setting, but also comes with marking, compliance, and responsibilities. Or you could become an academy owner, which gives you flexibility and control, but you also need to take responsibility for everything, including attracting your own students. None of these is better than the other. They are just different. And the mistake I see a lot of people make is that they don't choose. They stay in the same space of, oh, I'll figure it out later. And that's where the delay happens. This is exactly one of the reasons I created Developing Educators Academy, because I remember what it felt like to have the experience, but still question myself. Getting qualified didn't just give me a certificate, it gave me confidence. It helped me understand how to teach, how to support learners, how to speak about what I do in a way that people take seriously. So if you're in that space where you know you're ready for something more, but you're more quiet and you're unsure how to position yourself, that's exactly what we support with Developing Educators Academy. So I want you to think about this. If you say you want to teach, what does that actually look like for you? Not what it sounds good or looks good on paper, not what you've seen on social media, but what generally fits the way you want to work and live your life. So in this episode, I wanted to show you that teaching is not one path. It can look like brand training, lecturing, or running your own academy. And each one comes with different expectations, different lifestyles, and different levels of responsibility. The key is not to just be deciding to teach, it's deciding how you want to teach. If there's one thing you take away from this episode, it's this. Clarity comes from confidence. Clarity comes before confidence even more. The moment you decide your direction, everything else becomes easier to work out. If this episode made you pause and really think about your next step, make sure that you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who keeps saying they want to move into education but hasn't quite figured it out yet. Remember, you're no rookie in this game of life. It's time to take action.